perceived. Actually, really, what we perceive as true isn't always true. And sometimes what we perceive is perceptual, and strictly perceptual, and pertains to our subjective experiences, and we can conflate that with what's true and ultimate truth. And so when it comes to understanding the nature and philosophizing regarding truth, it's important to understand the role of perception and these perceived categories of truth. What's perceived as true and categorized as true but may not be true, and which we are not aware of or are aware of through either explicit, implicit, apparent, but also obvious markers and symbol and representation of what's perceptual. What's perceived as true, what's perceived as really true exists, and then what also pertains to what's perceived, actual, and really true, but also what's realistically true and psychological truths, ultimately, that establish these subjective and objective truths through our subjective experience and our working minds, that string together information regarding the open meanings and interpretations, the infinite possible set of interpretations that pertain to our perceptions, and which can lead us astray from the truth, but at the same time can open us to worlds of imaginative consciousness and imaginal ideations and ideas that have these expansive characteristics, and they can also in themselves contain dormant truths that we are aware or unaware of to our apparent processing of psychological workings that are intrinsic to our noggins and our capacity for thinking in regards to what we perceive, what's real, what's actual, what's actually the case, and what actually isn't the case or really isn't so, but is just merely perceived as meaningful, and doesn't necessarily have to be true for it to be meaningful, and can be intrinsically meaningful and have a lot of value within this imaginative and speculative frame, but which ironically can also, through this speculative frame and dimensions of perception of what's actual and real, help us to establish an understanding of the actual and realistic truths and what's really true.